Ladies and gentlemen of my alpha audience, let me start by saying something you already know, but might have forgotten in the sea of distractions life throws at you. Pain is power. It is the fire that forges you into something no one can ever touch. A force so unstoppable, so ruthless, that the world will look at you in awe. They laughed at your pain. They mocked you, belittled your struggles, and sneered at your every fall. But those days are over. Now, the tables are turning. It's their turn to suffer. It's their turn to know what it feels like to face the consequences of their cruelty, to stand in the shadow of the beast that they once underestimated. Your rise is inevitable, and it will be their torment. Let's take a moment to reflect on the faces of those who laughed at you, the ones who whispered behind your back, the ones who rolled their eyes when you struggled, the ones who thought your dreams were too big, too audacious, too impossible. They thought they could crush you under the weight of their cynicism. They thought they could break your spirit with their scorn. But here you are, still standing. You survived. In fact, you didn't just survive, you thrived in the wreckage of your own suffering. And now, as the storm clouds part and you rise from the ashes like the phoenix you are, they'll start to realize just how deeply they misjudged you. The pain they inflicted upon you, the wounds they thought would be your undoing, became the fuel you needed to evolve. You learned something in those dark nights when the world turned its back on you. You learned that pain isn't just something you endure. It's a tool, it's a weapon, it's a lesson. Pain has a way of showing you who you really are, of stripping away the illusions that cloud your vision. When you feel that pain, when you experience betrayal and loss, it forces you to make a choice, to rise or to die, to let the darkness consume you or to harness it as a power that will shape the course of your future. And you chose the path of power. You chose to rise. You chose to fight back. Every laugh they shared at your expense was a reminder of their ignorance. They didn't understand the process of becoming. They didn't understand that greatness is born from suffering. The champions are forged in the crucible of adversity. When they laughed, they revealed their weakness. They thought you were small because you were down, but they didn't see the fire building within you. They didn't see the beast awakening from within the man. Every time they mocked you, they unknowingly pushed you closer to your destiny, because you took their scorn and turned it into determination. You didn't shrink, you didn't break, you didn't wither, you grew. And now, as you look around and see the world unfolding before you, it's impossible to ignore the truth. They are scared. They didn't know what they were dealing with. They thought they were superior because they had comfort and ease, because their lives were free of the kind of struggle you've endured. But they were wrong. They were living in a fantasy. The truth is, no one grows without suffering. No one becomes strong without facing the darkest parts of themselves. You did what they couldn't. You endured. You learned. You became something else. You became something they could never understand, something they could never touch. Now, it's their turn. It's their turn to experience what they once thought you would never overcome. They laughed at your failures, but now they'll witness your success. They ridiculed your tears, but now they'll see your triumph. And you know what? They won't be able to handle it. You've learned what it means to turn pain into something powerful, but they haven't. They've only known comfort, luxury, and easy victories. They won't survive the storm that's coming for them. They laughed because they thought your struggles were a sign of weakness. They couldn't see the truth in your eyes. They couldn't feel the fire you had kindled deep inside your soul. They thought that pain was your defeat, that it would break you, crush you, under its weight. But you didn't let it break you. You let it transform you. You let it mold you into something they'll never be able to understand. And that's why, when their time comes, they'll crumble under the pressure. They'll crack under the weight of their own fragile existence. You were never weak. You were never broken. You were just being tested. And now that you've passed that test, now that you've become what you were always meant to be, there's no force in this world that can stop you. You are the storm now, and they are the ones left in your wake, wondering how they ever thought they could stand in your way. Do not pity them. Do not waste a single thought on their downfall. For when the time comes, you will be above it all. You will stand in your power, in your truth, and they will be left to watch as you rise to heights they never thought possible. They will wish they had been kinder, that they had seen your potential, that they had supported you instead of tearing you down. But by then, it will be too late. The damage is done, and the price for their cruelty will be paid in full. Look at the world now, and realize that it will bow to you. Those who laughed at your pain, who mocked your struggle, will be the ones begging for mercy when the tides of fate turn against them. They will see the strength in your eyes, and they will know they were wrong. They will see the power in your presence, and they will regret ever thinking they could crush you. For every scar they gave you, every moment they made you question yourself, will become the foundation on which your empire stands. And they will be left in the dust, wondering how they could have ever doubted you. The world will soon see who the real victors are. It's not those who never suffered, those who were born into comfort. It's not those who had it easy and never had to fight for what they wanted. The true victors are the ones who were torn apart and put back together stronger than before. The true victors are the ones who walked through hell and came out on the other side unscathed, with nothing but strength, resilience, and power to show for it. And that's you. You are the victor. So, to those who laughed, to those who mocked, to those who thought they had seen the end of you, let them watch now as you rise. Let them witness your strength, your power, and your unrelenting will. Let them see what happens when they underestimate someone who is made of fire. They thought you were nothing, but now they will realize that they were wrong. They thought you would break, but now they will see you stand tall, unshaken, and unbroken. It's their turn to suffer now, and it's your turn to reign supreme. For so long, you've been the one crawling, scraping, and fighting through the dirt and shadows. But that was merely the preparation, the training, the struggle that would ultimately pave the path for your ascendancy. Your rise wasn't meant to be easy. Number, the world doesn't hand out greatness. It isn't given, it's earned. And you, my friend, have earned it in the most brutal and unforgiving of ways. Your hands are stained with the blood of your battles. But let me tell you this, those stains are the marks of a warrior. Those scars, those cracks in your soul are the testimony of your triumph. Now, the time has come for the world to witness the results of your pain. The ones who laughed at you, mocked your attempts, ridiculed your failures, they are going to feel the weight of what they've done to you. They will learn that they were never dealing with someone ordinary. They were dealing with a force of nature, a being forged in adversity. You are a manifestation of what happens when resilience meets rage, when grit meets purpose. And those who thought you were weak, those who believed that the depth of your wounds was the extent of your potential, will be exposed for the fools they are. You've carried the weight of the world on your shoulders, endured countless blows, and weathered storms that would have broken anyone else. But it didn't break you. It made you. Every insult, every betrayal, every moment where you were left to pick yourself up from the ground, each one of those moments added layers to you. Layers of strength, resolve, and unshakable belief in your purpose. The pain you endured didn't destroy you. It refined you. And now, you stand as a monument to perseverance, to everything they thought would defeat you. It's not easy to understand the magnitude of the battle you've fought. People don't see the sleepless nights, the relentless grind, the tears you shed when no one was watching. They didn't see the loneliness, the doubt, or the times when you felt like giving up. All they saw was a person struggling, and that's where they made their fatal mistake. They saw a person, but they didn't see a warrior. They didn't see someone who could take the punches and keep coming back for more. They didn't see the fire building in your chest, the fire that would eventually burn down everything that stood in your way. And when you look at them now, when you witness the aftermath of your struggle, it's clear they were never meant to be your companions on this journey. They were nothing more than distractions, temporary figures in a world that never truly understood your vision. They laughed at your pain. They mocked you when you stumbled. But now, they'll be the ones begging for mercy. And the worst part for them, they'll have no one to blame but themselves. They'll have no choice but to look into your eyes and realize that everything they thought they knew about you was wrong. This is what happens when you face your demons head on. This is what happens when you turn your suffering into your greatest asset. This is what happens when you use every ounce of pain as fuel for the fire inside you. You become something no one can touch, something that nothing in this world can break. The ones who once laughed at you will find themselves frozen in their tracks as they witness the power you've become. They'll wonder how they could have ever underestimated someone like you, and they'll be too late. But as they fall, don't waste your energy on them. Don't spend another second thinking about their mockery, their ridicule, or their attempts to bring you down. They had their moment, and it's over. You've outgrown them. You've moved beyond their small-minded view of the world. While they stayed stagnant in their limited understanding, you've been evolving. You've been pushing yourself beyond every boundary they thought you had. You've become something unstoppable. Now, when you look at the world, it will start to bend to your will. You won't need to beg for your place. You won't need to prove anything to anyone. They'll see you for what you truly are, a force of nature. You will take what's yours because you've earned it. You've earned the right to stand tall. You've earned the right to claim your place at the top. Not because of luck, not because of anyone's favor, but because you fought for it. You fought through the blood, sweat, and tears. You fought through the betrayals and the lies. You fought through the blood, sweat, and tears. You fought through the betrayals and the lies. You fought through the loneliness and the fear. And now, the world will have no choice but to acknowledge your power. For those who laughed, their time is coming. They will realize that the universe doesn't forget. What they sowed will come back to them. Every time they looked down on you, every time they thought they were better than you, every time they ridiculed you, they set the stage for their own fall. They thought they could take you down by mocking your pain, by belittling your struggles, by making you feel small. But in doing so, they sealed their own fate. The universe, the one that guided you through the darkest hours, will now turn its eyes on them, and they won't be prepared for what's coming. Don't you see? They thought they had power over you. They thought they could control your narrative, dictate your worth, and decide your fate. But they were wrong. They had no idea who you were. They had no idea who you would become. And now, as you rise, they'll be left behind, clinging to the shattered remnants of their false beliefs. They'll watch as you take what they thought was theirs. They'll watch as you become everything they thought they could keep from you. There is no greater revenge than success. There is no more satisfying way to show them that their laughter, their mockery, was meaningless than by becoming the person you were always meant to be. You don't need to retaliate. You don't need to say a word. Your actions will speak louder than anything they could ever say. Your triumph will be the answer to every insult, Every moment they made you feel less than, every time they belittled you. Your rise is the revenge they didn't see coming. It's the price they'll have to pay for underestimating you. And it's the reminder that the world doesn't forget those who are underestimated. It gives them the strength to rise higher than anyone ever thought possible. You are the embodiment of everything they tried to destroy. Your pain is your strength, your struggle is your power, and your rise is inevitable. They are the ones who will suffer now, not because you seek vengeance, but because they thought you were their prey. And in reality, you were the hunter all along. You were the one destined to take it all, to claim what was rightfully yours. And now, as the dust settles and you stand victorious, they'll have no choice but to watch you as you reign supreme. And they'll know that they were never meant to stop you. They were never meant to hold you down. You were always meant for greatness, and nothing will ever change that. So let the world watch. Let the ones who laughed and mocked and scorned you sit in their regret. Let them suffer the consequences of their actions. But as for you, you keep rising. You keep fighting. You keep claiming your place at the top. For now, it's your turn, and the world has no idea what's coming for it. It's your time to reign supreme. It's your time to show them all who you really are. What you're about to do is something that they'll never be able to comprehend. They thought they could tear you down, that their mockery and disdain would weaken you, diminish your worth. They assumed you would cower under their judgment, wilt under the weight of their scorn. But they were wrong. The truth is, your greatness was never meant to be seen through their eyes. They were never the ones destined to witness your power firsthand. They were only the obstacles, the challenges that tested your strength, your resolve, your will to survive. They were the ones who foolishly underestimated the force of nature that you are. And now, as you stand on the precipice of your destiny, you'll show them who you really are. The force they tried to break, the will they tried to crush, the person they could never understand. The truth is, they never had the courage to see you for who you truly were. They only saw what they wanted to see. Someone small, someone broken, someone less than them. They only saw your pain and made assumptions, labeling it as weakness. But pain doesn't equate to weakness. Pain doesn't signify defeat. Pain is proof of your resilience, proof of your ability to endure, to adapt, to overcome. The depths of your suffering were the breeding ground for your strength. They thought you would sink into the darkness, consumed by despair. But what they didn't realize is that you were the storm. You were the thunder, the lightning, the whirlwind that would rise out of that darkness and level everything in your path. For so long, they tried to put you in a box, tried to limit your potential by placing restrictions on your dreams. They wanted to believe that your aspirations were too big, that your vision was too grand. They laughed at the idea of you reaching the heights you knew you were destined for. But what they didn't know, what they could never have understood, is that you didn't need them to believe in you. You didn't need their approval, their validation, their acknowledgement. You had everything you needed within you, the fire, the grit, the hunger, to prove them all wrong. When they laughed at your failures, what they didn't realize is that you were learning. Every failure, every setback, every moment where you felt like the world was crashing down on you was a lesson that molded you into something far greater than they could ever imagine. They may have seen your falls, but they didn't see how you got up. They didn't see the fire that ignited within you after each stumble. They didn't see the quiet, relentless determination that grew stronger with each bruise, with each broken piece of yourself that you had to rebuild. They didn't see the evolution happening right in front of them, the transformation you were going through when they weren't looking. They didn't see the warrior being forged in the flames of your pain, and they didn't see the power you were accumulating with each struggle. They saw your tears and thought you were weak. They saw your frustration and assumed you lacked the discipline to succeed. But they didn't understand the power in your heart, the strength in your soul, the unshakable will that would one day cause them to tremble in fear. What they failed to realize is that their laughter, their mockery, was only fuel to your fire. Every word they spoke to tear you down became another step in your rise. Every laugh, every jeer, every insult became the building blocks of your empire. They had no idea that they were merely setting the stage for the greatest comeback the world has ever seen. They were so focused on your struggles that they never bothered to look deeper, to see the potential that was silently growing beneath the surface. And now, as you rise, they'll be left stunned, speechless, unable to comprehend how someone they once thought so small, so insignificant, could suddenly tower over them. They'll watch in awe as you break through every barrier, exceed every expectation, and achieve things they could never dream of. And in the end, they'll realize just how wrong they were, how little they truly knew about you. But by then, it will be too late. You'll already be untouchable, and they'll be left to deal with the consequences of their ignorance. They'll look back at their past actions, at the way they belittled you, and they'll feel the weight of regret. But regret won't change anything. Their words won't be able to undo the damage they caused, the damage they inflicted on themselves by choosing to laugh at someone who was destined for greatness. They may try to apologize, try to make amends, but you'll be too far gone. You'll be on a level they'll never reach, and their apologies will mean nothing because actions speak louder than words. They had their chance to see you, to respect you, to recognize your potential, and they squandered it. They didn't see you for who you were, but they will now. They will be forced to watch as you become everything they never thought you could be. And here's the thing, their downfall won't be your doing. You won't have to lift a finger. You won't need to stoop down to their level and engage in petty games of revenge. No, your rise will be enough. Your success will be the ultimate form of retribution. You won't have to prove them wrong because your actions will do it for you. You will rise so high, so fast, that they'll be left standing in the dust, wondering how they ever thought they could break you. And when they finally come to terms with their own failure, when they finally realize the price of their arrogance, you'll be too far gone to even care. Let them have their regrets. Let them suffer the consequences of their actions. But remember this, it's not about revenge. It's about you. It's about your journey, your growth, your success. It's about showing the world who you really are. It's about becoming the person you were always meant to be. You don't need to lower yourself to their level to get caught up in their petty games. Your power doesn't come from tearing others down. It comes from standing tall, from rising above the noise, from staying true to your purpose. And that's what will set you apart. As you stand at the summit of your success, you'll look around and see those who once laughed at you, who thought they knew everything about your journey, trying to hold on to what little power they have left. But it won't matter. Their power will fade, while yours will only grow. They'll see the true measure of your strength, and in the end, it won't be their opinions, their judgments, or their scorn that matters. It will be your greatness, your accomplishments, and the legacy you leave behind. The truth is, they never had the strength to endure what you did. They never had the resilience, the grit, or the heart to withstand the kind of challenges you faced. They never had the hunger to climb higher, to push further, to achieve more. They thought their position was secure, that they could laugh at your pain and be untouchable. But the universe doesn't favor the weak, the cynical, the dismissive. It favors the ones who endure, the ones who fight, the ones who never give up. And now, as you rise and claim your place in the world, they'll realize they were never as secure as they thought. They'll realize that the power they thought they had was just an illusion. They'll realize that they were never the ones in control. You were always the one with the true power. And now, it's time for them to witness that power firsthand. You will show them who you really are. You will show them the strength, the resilience, and the unwavering determination that runs through your veins. You will show them the person they never thought you could become, and they will be left to watch, helpless, as you take what is rightfully yours. The time for apologies is over. The time for regret is over. The time for action has arrived. And when you look back, you won't see the people who tried to tear you down. You'll see the steps you took to rise above them. You'll see the fire that burned within you, the power that came from your struggle, the greatness that was born from your pain. And when you stand tall, when you claim what is yours, you'll know that this is the moment you were always meant for. This is your moment. It's your turn to reign supreme. And as the world bows before you, as the ones who once laughed at your pain now watch in silence, you'll remember that it was never about proving them wrong. It was about proving to yourself that you were always destined for greatness. And now, you are unstoppable. Now, you are the force that no one can ignore, the power that no one can break. It's your time to show them all who you really are. In the end, your rise will be the ultimate testament to your strength, resilience, and unshakable belief in yourself. Those who once laughed at your pain will now be forced to watch as you claim the greatness that was always yours. You didn't need their approval or validation to reach your peak. You needed only your will and determination. As you stand at the summit, remember this: your success isn't about revenge. It's about embracing the power you've always had within you. Now, it's your time to reign supreme.